Okay, so we're going to start with this. Right about there. Alright. Alright, baby. So here's what we're doing.
Okay.
Where are we in the Little Preggers?
In the Little Preggers?
Yes.
Well, we're 11 weeks.
Are we
Yeah.
11 weeks?
Yes.
Well, that sounds interesting. Why are we starting this at 11 weeks?
I have no idea. You told me we were doing this. I thought we were starting next week.
Well, we're starting at 11 weeks today because today we are officially moving over to the OBGYN, which means that we're out of the high-risk section of our pregnancy and the part that we're very, very worried about.
Very true.
So, tell me, and tell this, a little bit about what we've gone through with this.
Oh, yay. Well, we started trying to have kids right when we got married.
How long ago?
Which will be 4 years this coming Wednesday.
Oh, crap. That's
Yeah.
quite close.
You already got me my anniversary present.
I
Good
know.
job.
I do things.
But we found out you were deploying shortly after we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And when we didn't get pregnant before you left, it wasn't really a huge big deal because you weren't going to be here. We, kind of hoped that maybe we'd have the typical R&R military baby and we'd have a baby when you came home, and it didn't happen. But at the end of your deployment, I found out that I wasn't ovulating on my own. So the OBGYN here on Nux started me on medicine, and we took Clomid for 6 months with
No success?
no success whatsoever, and I just ended up with huge cysts on my ovaries instead of producing eggs. So we had my PCM at the time, Dr. Hilton, send us up to U of L.
To go see Dr. Nakajima.
We were seeing Dr. Nakajima because...
Not Dr. Nakamura, even though we're kind of close.
Yeah, but no, we went and saw Dr. Nakajima because our friend Sarah had said that he was really good and he actually helped her conceive her miracle IVF baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured it was probably the best option for us. You agreed with me. At the time I wasn't exactly healthy. I was extremely overweight at the time. We hadn't gotten to the obese section of my weight gain yet. But after they did a bunch of tests, they found out that I had PCOS and I was insulin resistant. And when they did your counts, they're okay, they're normal, but they're not the most optimal numbers for natural conception.
Of course.
So we chose to do IUI. We had our first cycle in October of 2012. We had our IUI was done on the 25th. We found out November 5th that we were pregnant. And we were, excited with the positive, but I knew something was wrong from the beginning. I had gone through 3 knee surgeries in less than 12 months. I had wrist surgery, I had a lot of stress and a lot of other issues. I was getting heavier by the day, and it wasn't getting any better.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went in for our first ultrasound, didn't see anything, and we should definitely have seen something. But they figured we might be a week behind with me being heavier, so I may not have ovulated right away, and we may have gotten pregnant on our own. So we took that with their hope, and
you guys want to be in the video.
I know, fuzzy babies, get down. But we knew, something was up, but the next week we went in, and there was a little baby with a heartbeat, and it wasn't as fast as they would like it, and whatnot. We still weren't measuring where they thought we should be, so they had us come in the next week. The day before we were supposed to go in, I was having really bad cramping. I was constipated. It just sucked. And we went to the emergency room, and I knew something was wrong, but they just said it was, normal from me being that constipated. Let's just get you regulated out. You'll be fine. Well, the next day we went in, and unfortunately there was no heartbeat. They scheduled us for the DNC that following Monday, and December 17th was the day that it officially was over. Like everything, we definitely had lost the baby. There was nothing that they could do at that point other than sorry. My goodness. Other than to basically help us have closure and let me heal so that we could. My goodness. There we go. And that way we could, celebrate Christmas without worrying about me having to miscarry naturally over Christmas. You and I had a big heart-to-heart, and we, I knew I needed to lose weight. So when I weighed in January 2nd in 2013, I was 252 pounds, and we started working out. We found out very shortly after that you were leaving the following month to go to JRTC to prepare for another deployment. So I started working out, losing weight. You came home and had the wonderful bombshell of I'm leaving in 6 weeks or so. So it was, we were supposed to be having an IUI right after you came home. I had already, been taking my medicine and was prepared to take our trigger shot, and then we canceled the IUI and just, tried naturally. Obviously nothing happened. We got you ready and just enjoyed time until you left. You were gone for 9 months. I worked out, saw a nutritionist, got my thyroid under control, got my blood pressure under control, got everything under control. You came home, I was 100 pounds lighter, and we enjoyed each other for, the first, month to see if maybe that would work, and again it didn't. So we went and saw Dr. Bowler, because unfortunately Dr. Nakajima moved out to California to be head of a reproductive endocrinology out there. So that was, at least we knew that there was a doctor there that was there when we were there the first time. And they updated our blood work, got us set up with our medicine. I took it. They did our ultrasound, checked my eggs, and told me when to take my shot. And we went in on March 21st, and they said, all right, here you go. And then April Fool's Day, we got our positive, and definitely tested for the next couple of days to make sure that
Of course.
it wasn't.
Especially on April Fool's
Yeah.
Day.
I didn't need the universe playing a joke on me. So
That would be the one day for a false positive.
yeah, it would be. And then when we finally, we had 3 days in a row, and I had popped on a digital, we knew that I definitely had enough HCG in my system. So it's time to, call them, get my blood work done. We had great numbers. It started, 137, went up to, 815 in, from Thursday to Monday. And then a week later, it was over 13,000. And then at 6.5 weeks, we went and had our ultrasound, and
got to see Babby.
there was little itty bitty Babby looking like a little tadpole lizard thing with
Looking good.
a heartbeat at 127 beats a minute, and going strong.
And then 2 weeks later, we went back in.
We were measuring a day behind with that one, but like they said, a day forward, a day behind, no big deal. We went in 2 weeks later for our 8-week 5 days, and we were measuring 8-week 6 days, and had a heart rate of like 176, and baby was measuring, perfectly, looked like a little baby, and that's when we decided to do our announcements.
So today is Friday, May the 23rd.
Yes, it is.
And what did we see today?
We saw our beautiful little baby, who was squirming all over the place and trying not to get his picture taken, just like his father. And the fact that you're doing this video is hysterical.
I know. It's easier to
And
take
it's
a
your
good
idea.
It's easier to take a good video of me than it is to take a good picture of me, for whatever reason.
This is true. But baby was measuring between 11 weeks, 2 days,
Because still
and 11
frames
weeks.
of my face, so probably not good.
Oh, hush it. Baby was measuring 11 weeks, 2 days to 11 weeks, 3 days. And heart rate was at 162 and squirming, got long legs and arms, and has its own little attitude already. So
We got to see quite a bit of movement. We got to see quite some really interesting stuff. So tell me about what's going on in the week ahead, because the week ahead we obviously have a lot going on.
Well, this week, actually on our anniversary, on the 28th on Wednesday, I actually start going to the OBGYN here on post. I get to go and get officially registered in. I had orientation yesterday so that I could start my paperwork. Wednesday they will be putting in all of my information, talking to me about medications and seeing if there's anything we need to have changed and make notes for the doctor. And because we're coming from a fertility clinic and we don't get released until later in the pregnancy, they have to hurry up and rush us to get in because they want their first visit and their first ultrasound with us is supposed to be between 10 weeks and 12 weeks.
That's true.
And I'm going to be hitting 12 weeks next Friday, and they're trying to get me in before that. There's a good chance I won't get in until the following week, which is fine. I have no problem with that. I know our little one's fine. But, I mean, I've been feeling perfectly fine with it now that I'm not nauseated all the time. And
so tell me a little bit about what symptoms you've experienced for this pregnancy. Because, well, not tell me, because I obviously have been here for every bit
I was
of
going
it.
to say, you know, well, it started with me having to pee all the time, and crawling over you when you're dead asleep on your Ambien is extremely difficult.
I do
And
sleep with a lot.
with the two dogs on the other side of your legs, and me trying to crawl over all of you to go to the bathroom, has become a pretty big feat.
So obviously it's a good idea to possibly move the bed this weekend.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea since it's a 4-day weekend. We should probably try it.
We'll see what we can do.
But the next one I ended up with was I was tired all the time. I couldn't wake up for anything. I needed to nap all the time, which I still want to nap all the time, but
I want to nap all the time, though, to be fair.
yeah, it is true. I think it's a normal adult thing, but it's gotten to the point, like, at least now I have a little bit of energy back.
Which is nice.
But then right at about 5.5, 6 weeks, I was nauseated so bad. And
Tell me about
you know,
that nausea a little bit.
knock on wood, I only threw up.
The faux wood that we have right there.
I know, right? I only threw up
Wood.
actually once, like actually had something come up. And that was because of the smell of the garbage from outside when it first heated up outside and started getting hot here because I smelled it all the way in and you had to run in and give me a Walmart bag so I could throw up.
To be fair, that was really disgusting.
Yeah, it was bad. But I smelled it all the way in the house. I'm glad you didn't send me out
Stop!
to go and put anything in that garbage
Sure.
can. I would have died. But most of it was just the nausea was so bad. I couldn't leave. Like, I couldn't go anywhere. I didn't want to eat anything. And if I did eat something, a lot of times it's not that it wasn't the most healthy option, it was the only thing that was bland enough and that didn't have a smell that was going to make me gag. And, like, I wanted stuff. Like, I wanted to eat things, but I couldn't eat them because it made me want to puke. So the doctor decided that since it was becoming a debilitating issue, because I couldn't leave the house, like I was getting sick in the car, like I felt like constantly like I was spinning and didn't like wanted to throw up, but I couldn't throw up. They gave me my little 4 milligram Zofrans to take whenever I wasn't feeling good. And that wouldn't have been for that, we wouldn't have been going to half of our appointments because I wasn't going to leave the house. But now that my hips are widening, my hips hurt, and I'm getting the weird stretching feeling across my abdomen now, and I can definitely tell my back hurts all the time, but you know that, because when we watch TV in the bed, I lean forward, just push and make it stop hurting for a little bit so that I can relax. But yeah, I'm excited that I have my new big pregnancy pillow to sleep with.
So talk about the new pregnancy pillow.
This is my anniversary present, was the big Babby total body pillow. It's 3 pieces. It's basically the normal like little snuggler for under your head and stuff to help support your neck. And then it velcros to a portion that it's flat in the center so that when your belly gets big it doesn't have to like compete with a pillow to try and
Be who's on top
where
right now.
theirs. And then it's really nice and thick down at the bottom to help keep my hips and my knees and everything in line so that it'll keep my back lined up so that it'll help keep me from having back pain and hip pain. And
I think it's just some good sleep.
so I can hopefully start sleeping because my body pillow isn't thick enough to hold my legs wide enough apart anymore because my hey, we're gonna get big because in December we got to push a baby through here.
Well, it sounds like you've had quite the experience. So
what
far.
about you?
I just eat whatever you are eating, really, which has been the best experience of my life. Luckily, I don't have any of the nausea or any of the other symptoms, so I'm going to keep with that.
Yeah. Well, how did you feel when you saw baby go from little itty bitty tadpole
It's been interesting
to baby?
It's been interesting. I do like watching. I like watching the little Babby start to grow. I suppose all the different little milestones it's hitting. I like seeing like the difference in your attitude, and the other big thing that's been really interesting to watch is the way that these two have reacted, because the dogs have actually been changing up the way that they behave around you in response to you. And so that's been kind of interesting. I guess I like watching the different changes and different moldings and how we all interact with our environment, and the way that it somehow all relates just back to you. So it's been really cool for me to watch.
One of these days I need to take a picture of you.
Obviously I'm happy to see Babby is on the way and healthy.
They need to see your face. I wish they could see your face whenever you see whenever you saw the 8.5 week ultrasound.
That thing
when
was
it actually looked like a baby.
That thing was swimming.
And then today, when
that's a big forehead though.
But
then again, so do I. So
yeah, well, mine's not exactly small. I just hide it with my hair. But I mean, today when all we could see when they went in for the ultrasound is baby, and then it moved to get away from the camera.
Which sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I think we've got quite a bit coming on next week, and we'll have to make a video. I would think that maybe we'll do one right before your appointment, and then one right after, so you can talk about what you hope to see in your appointment. And then afterward, you can talk about what you did see at your appointment, what you learned about,
and what's coming up,
and then what's coming up, and we can document this week by week.
I'm just excited to start my bump pictures next Friday.
We'll start your bump pictures next Friday then. And for everyone who's at home, we love you, and we wanted to show you guys a little bit what's going on in our lives. And we'll keep you guys updated with hopefully once weekly videos, and we will see you guys next week.